Okay, so episode 2. Yeah, it's just convenient. I've seen the unremarkable life of this body's owner more times than I can count. Like a child wearing out the pages of the only picture book he's been bought. Wow. Born in a village of cowherds, he was on track to take over herding cattle himself. In a fairy tale book, a passing traveler gave him changed his life. The book told the tale of a legendary brave soul, of the world's only hero. The wonder in his heart did not fade, and as his age blessed him with strength and vigor, he left the village for the adventurer's life, spending each day not knowing if it would be his last. He experienced deep bonds with his companions and a brutal betrayal. Left bloodied and wounded, he gave up on the path of further adventure. He then retired to a human castle town and opened a tavern made for adventurers. Occasionally, on sleepless nights after particularly deep bouts of drinking, his hand would reach for that picture book he bought again as an adult. The story begins when the only hero in the world one day walks through the door of a tavern after being given a quest by the king. And so he would let himself drift off to sleep, dreaming a child's dream. If only tomorrow the hero would knock on the door of his humble establishment. If only. An unremarkable journey with an unremarkable setback. Unremarkable yet real life, and the only one he has. These are the memories of the man named Gordon, and they never have been mine. Memories, after all, I'd wager, are the results of choices one attains through the vessel of the body. I was born here in Gimle, and I believed I would play the part of Gordon for eternity. My name? Yeah, what should I call you? It'll be awkward if you have no name. Gordon is someone else, right? That is the name this body held in ages past. I am little more than Gordon's Flaya. I think that's alright. Philia. I don't know how to say it. What? Sorry, can you say that again? Philia is the general term in this world's belief system for spiritual beings that follow humans. Philia are duplicated from the base of the memories of the bodies we are to maintain, born from nothing. Philia is not my individual name, it's more like the name of a species or people. Though perhaps even that is saying too much. We are all virtual consciousnesses, with neither gender nor individual variation. Dang. I see. Maybe you'd have a serial number? That name is certainly hard to say. Phi. Gordon Phi is kind of long too. How about G-Phi? You could come up with a better name. As you command, Master. I am G-Fi. Gordon Phi. Call me as you wish. Barkeep Gordon. No. Barkeep Gordon has joined your party. Confirming orders. I am to aid your journey to the top of Gimle. Crap, my sword broke again. Get used to the dueling rules here, Master. This is Gimle. At the end of the world, everything here is disposable. Those who dispose of more ascend and gain a future. We are in such a place, in such an age. With that, Gordon Phi pulls up a nameless sword sticking out from the ground and throws it your way. I'll guard your back if you have any other battle plans, Master. I'm awaiting your orders. I'll let you know. We might be a perfect match. You should swing your sword arm if you have time to chatter, Master. You're only lowering your survival rate. Huh. Also, I love this music. Understood. Breaking through. Let's do this, Master. See, I love this theme.
新しい命令をマスター命令遂行する
ああ行こうぜみんな
命遂行する
ああ行こうぜみんな
命令遂行する命令を完了事故の存続を確認
An elevator came down. Can we get on this thing? According to traditions of old, the path to the upper floors opens only to those who win duels in Gimle. This is a rule made by World Representative Odin, who acts as God in the Golden Tower, Gimle. World Representative Odin acts as God, huh? Father to all you inherit here? Have you ever seen him? Never. He's never shown himself before me, nor has he ever given me an order. We humans here on the first floor of Gimle have been judged as unneeded and disposed of by the tower's god. Dang. That is until Silmario runs up in here. That's why it's all disposable here? I see, so that's why. I see, so that's why. Hey, I've also... Maybe someone will pick you up. I was in the same spot myself. No, nothing. Never mind. So, what now, Master? Shall we stay on this floor or go up above, awaiting your order? Right, we're going up. Let's go see that Odin. Understood. I will always follow your orders, Master. I want us to talk about other stuff too. Can you loosen up a bit when we talk? The stiffness is kind of tiring. Understood. I mean, got it. I will do my best to follow your orders, Master. Oh God, help us. All I can reference is Gordon's memories. If you're fine with an imitation of him, that is how I'll act. Huh? A creepy forest? We went up a tower elevator, right? What are we doing in the woods? Not quite. We're still in the tower. Go ahead, Master. Take a closer look at the ground. Dried twigs and fallen branches rustle and snap as he clears them away to reveal a cold, hard metal floor underneath. A solid floor under the branches? So the plants are just covering it. That's right. Despite appearances, we are still in Gimle. It may be covered in thick vegetation and different terrain, but it should have the same accommodations as the first floor around somewhere. Meaning an elevator to the next floor is around here somewhere too, right? Precisely. Though, as far as I know, no one has come up here from the floor below. Beowulf. He wasn't on the first floor. Did he make it here first, or? Let's be on guard as we travel through here. Rumors say the second floor is where Fafnir's lair is. Didn't Beowulf mention him? Fafnir? Who's that? Fire Dragon King Fafnir, known as a particularly large and powerful dragon, even among the higher beings who vie for dominance over this world. They say the magically enhanced fire he breathes can reduce mountains of stone into mountains of ash. He has a bit of an eye for treasure too, and has gathered up all manner of gold and silver from across the realms, keeping it all in his lair here in Gimle. A mighty dragon? Here on the second floor? And I can't even use my sword, right? We would best hope not to encounter him. Fafnir is not actually blocking the path to the upper floors. He has simply made his lair here, that is all. If we are wise and cunning about it, we should be able to evade him with ease. As long as there are no foolhardy characters who specifically want to fight a dragon, at least. Well, about that. A dragon is a natural disaster made manifest. Something none of us humans stand a chance against. The best option is to keep our heads down and wait for it to pass over. Now I have heard of a certain blood brother of Odin managed to drive off Fafnir with a cunning plan alone, but yeah, about that person. Come on, Fire Dragon. I thought you'd be sharper than that. Don't you care about all this treasure you've hoarded? Cease this at once, fool. Do not throw my precious gold about. Hands off that sword. It's worth more than you'll make in your lifetime. Sorry, Your Majesty. It looks like you're gonna be another dragon slain by the world's hero. Beowulf, remember the name. Do not get ahead of yourself, fool. The title of hero reserved for much worthier stock. Be gone from my presence! You're mad. You're mad. Looks like I've touched a nerve or two. I don't know what you got going in that reptilian heart of yours, but let me tell you this. If you come into a fight with something you can't bear to dispose of, you're gonna lose. Ah! Beowulf leaps up high with the lightness of one who has nothing, dodging Fafnir's raging fire breath and transitioning into a swing. That can't be. Not only a mere human, but You're cleaning too, Fire Dragon King Fafnir. You probably could have taken me with you if you had been 50 years older. That's what you get for constantly looking over your shoulder during our little one-on-one. Ah, so that's what this was all about. An accursed prevaricator. He slithered up to me, telling me tales about how the humans were on the way. He slithered up to me, telling me tales about how the humans on the way were after my treasure. Just like when he bound my fool of a father, Freydahart, with chains of paranoia and suspicion, forcing my hand in defeating him. Blasted prevaricator! I care not what bonds bind him. I shall tear him limb from limb when I see him next. Now, where did that human fancying himself a hero go off to? Perhaps to the next floor above. Well, just you wait. Much my dragonic body may be lost, but should I bring myself into a dragon den and commune with a dragon vein, I shall be back to my former glory. There's actually a revelry hall here? Well kept too. Of course there is. Nightly banquets are an inalienable right to all inheritor have. They'll get them one way or another. Now I'm hungry all of a sudden. I'm so beat. I need a break. I'll make you a meal. You just rest over there, master. You're super duper good at cooking, huh? But the food at your tavern was great. As I had mentioned before, this body's owner had an ample repertoire of cooking skills. I simply used them as reference. They are not skills I acquired myself, I'm afraid. And, what's the matter, master? Eating my fill made me very sleepy. Can I rest a little? Yeah, see you tomorrow. Let's rest together. Asleep already, master? Good night, master. My only hero in all the world. Morning already? When did I get into a bed? A bath would be nice. There is not a bath in sight. Huh? There's a memo on the desk. A map with writing I can't read. Is this mark a spring or something? Oh, there it is. What a pretty spring. Huh? Is that a guy? Wow. Whew. That's a bit of my power rejuvenated. It will take a little longer for my optical capabilities to fully reconstruct, after which I shall... who are you? Didn't know this spring was occupied. And who the devil might you be? Same to you, Mr. Jockstrap. Well, 2 battles in this part, well, in this episode. I'd been abandoned in this land before I knew it. My first thoughts, of course, were where was I and when? The dragon vein flowing throughout this land were identical to those of my homeland, which I knew all too well. However, the well-rooted great tree of Yggdrasil's age rings vastly outnumbered the one I was familiar with. While I knew it to be utterly impossible, the possibly then dawned on me. I loathed as I was to consider it, that I had surpassed even the laws of time themselves. With a fluttering of my mighty draconic wings, I traveled to every corner of the world in search of familiar faces, of old acquaintances, of those I held a fondness for. It did not take long for me to realize, however, that much of this world was ill-fitted for human habitation. Worse still, spells, phrases I had used regularly in my previous dwellings now resulted in fizzles and puzzled looks. It appeared words brought with me from other world in ages past were prohibited in this land. Feels like Odin pulled a dick move and just said, nah, I win. So I decided to take the second floor of Gimle, humanity's last bastion, as my lair. Though I'm less than thrilled to take up residence in a place constructed by that lustful prevaricator and his ilk, a begging king cannot be a choosy one. For if the person I am looking for has been sent to this land as well, stands the reason that he will pass through this tower. Wise? Am I not? Come now. No need to be shy with the compliments. Let's hear them. Each and every one. Shut up. Fafnir, shut up. Anyway, I thus decided to indulge in my hobby of treasure collecting while I waited. Glittering gold, swords of legend, all manner of jewels and rings. Anything with an eye-catching shine I added to my collection. All while driving away the occasional intrepid fools seeking my hoard. Though I must admit the inability to use spells in an inconvenience, bombarding my foes with sheer magic would often suffice. In time, however, I found myself drifting off into slumber. A mere nap, honestly, but exactly how much time had passed I cannot tell. What I will not forget is the unforgettable insult of that prevaricator daring to send his lackeys to my lair. Yep. Loki, the prevaricator. blood brother of the world representative Odin, and ultimately responsible for stoking his ire. He brought it all to an end with that deceitful tongue alone, and paid the price by having his limbs tightly bound and his body tossed into the cavernous depths. Though there he should still be, having Snake's venom dripped onto his head perpetually. Yet that is where I learned something I should have, by all means, expected. It would have taken a much harsher punishment to keep a being like that bound. Loki's powers of persuasion and fabrication are such that he deceived me and my impressive mental faculties into doing battle with my scumbag of a father. Speaking the unspeakable and striking from behind the blind spots of people's perceptions to turn friend against friend and family against family. All this would be mere child's play for him. How could it not? Unlike others in all the realms, Loki speaks taboos. Taboos are the other half of rules, another side of the same coin of power. If a rule is considered to establish what one can do, then a taboo establishes what one cannot do. Okay, you just basically explained the concept of this game, Fafnir. Those who hear the proclamations and whisperings of his venomous tongue find themselves suddenly bereft of abilities. What they could once see, they can no longer. Words they could once comprehend, they can no longer. They say he made the walls that surround the realms in times past, and this ability he retains. He creates invisible walls around the senses of others. The man could set sworn comrades at each other's throats before they realized his designs. And he could do it with ease. Your magic is unfamiliar to me, human. I trust you came prepared for the consequences of interrupting my bathing in a dragon den? I didn't know it was occupied. Talk about my time. Fool! Speak not to me bizarrely. Fool! Speak not to me those bizarrely familiar words with that bizarrely familiar voice. Disintegrate into nothingness. Ah! Scouting of Point F complete and added to map of area. Tracks of another entering ahead detected. Increasing caution and continuing reconnaissance. Maintaining avoidance of Fire Dragon King Fafnir as highest priority. Running into him would make Master's chances of survival painfully low. We have to avoid him at all costs. It is about time for Master to wake up. Propose returning to lodging hall, maintaining a high level of caution while... An explosion! Oh no! Master! Huh. Were the stuffed animals I kept up there serving as a bit of a barrier? Sound barrier? Curses! My magic blast missed! How miserable it is that I cannot grasp your insolent visage with my eyes. I'm alive? Thank goodness it missed. Does he have poor vision or something? If precision fails me, then numbers will not. I shall cover this spring with a rain of destruction. Fall, human! Fall! Master, are you alright? Apologies for the wait. You warded off those fireballs? Oh, that was amazing. Oh wait. You warded off those fireballs? Thanks. That was amazing. Oh me. If that is your command, then we'll have to wait until after we overcome this situation. Another of you humans! The magic that flows through your veins, no. I do not recognize it either. Very well then. I have but to blow the two of you away. Witness the conflagrant rage of the Fire Dragon King Fafnir. Fire Dragon King Fafnir? Master, I will go on the offensive and buy time. Use that opportunity to pull back. Survive and escape this place.
Saあクエストへ出発だ
命令を入力
Pretty sure it's easy to survive. I'm just gonna...
水
タもかじゃあ
命令水
タもか
命令水
タも邪魔をこれでクエストひとまずクリアだ。いやー危ねえとこだった。
The tower is shaking! This could be bad. This is where we must part, Master. I will shield you with my body. You need to turn around and run as fast as you can. Wait, what are you? We weren't together for too long, but I'm glad I met you. I pray to Odin above that the rest of the journey finds you safe. Draconic flames, I call upon thee to scorch all creation. Witness the pinnacle of pyrogenetic magic. Tear up. Huh? What just happened? I had forgotten my ability to use spells in this cursed realm. After failing to release my magic in a completed spell, it will have no choice but to... No! Is he okay? He self-destructed. He's out cold. He seems kind of fun. It looks like you and I will live another day, Master. Why did you do that, though? Are you going to let Gordon die? I believe my actions were optimal for your survival, Master. No matter how badly Gordon's body is damaged, it should regenerate in time, much like any other inheritor. My consciousness may have failed to endure the sheer pain of information overload and fade away, but there was no other way. The order I have been given to protect my master is absolute. When I say that order is my whole world, I am not exaggerating. I can do nothing but that which I am ordered. That is the taboo at the core of my being. I have accepted you as my master, and your orders are absolute. That is a restriction I cannot remove. To put it in terms Master might easily understand, this personality of mine cannot conceive any thought that exceeds the bounds of my directives. I am Connor, the android built by Cyberlife. Can Odin do something about that? Do you know how to break those bounds? If he's omniscient, then... My answer, I do not know. That is a question I can. That is not a question I can address. I am glad you are all right, Master, and I am glad from the bottom of my heart. I understand that you feel differently, yet such thoughts are only afforded to higher beings, as far as I am concerned. I am Connor, the android built by Cyberlife. We're surviving next time. When we run together. I am not sure that I interpret your order correctly, but I will do my utmost. That said, what are we going to do about Fafnir? Your orders, Master? Let's take him to safety for now. We can't just leave him here, and I can't consider him an enemy. Understood. I shall carry him then, Master.